When disaster strikes, it's not the $300 survival kits or flashy gadgets that'll save you. It's the $1 items you've been walking past at the dollar store. In a real collapse, practicality wins every time, and the cheap, overlooked tools on aisle 4 will be worth their weight in gold. Today, we're breaking down $7 store items that are dirt cheap now, but will vanish the second a crisis hits. These aren't backup options, they're the first things you'll wish you had when the shelves are empty and the lights go out. From water hacks to fire-starting essentials and even barter-ready tools, this list will change how you prep without breaking the bank. If you're serious about surviving smart, hit subscribe and tap the bell. We drop no-nonsense prepping strategies every week, because when it counts you need gear that works, not gimmicks. Let's dive in. 1. Plastic tablecloth, the unsung survival hero. At first glance, a plastic tablecloth might seem like nothing more than cheap party decor. But in a survival situation, this unassuming dollar store item transforms into one of the most versatile tools in your arsenal. The best part, most people overlook it entirely until they're wet, cold, or desperate. Let's break it down. Plastic tablecloths are lightweight, water-resistant, wind-blocking, and incredibly compact. These qualities make them a survival powerhouse. Got a leaky roof? Tape one up as a temporary rain barrier. Stuck in a storm without shelter? Drape it over a rope between two trees, and you've got an instant emergency tent. Sleeping on wet ground? Lay it out as a waterproof base layer to stay dry. But the utility doesn't stop there. Most tablecloths are large, often big enough to cover a 6-foot table. That's a lot of material in a tiny, foldable package. You can cut it into strips to wrap gear, patch a hole in a tarp, or even create makeshift bags for carrying water, firewood, or supplies. In a group setting, you can portion it out for ground liners, seat covers, or insulation sheet. A quick poncho, cut a hole in the middle and wear it like a cape. It's not breathable, but it'll keep you dry when the rain starts pouring. Want to catch rainwater? Anchor it in a shallow pit, and you've got a simple water collection system. And don't underestimate its visual value. A brightly colored tablecloth can double as a distress signal. Tie it to a tree, lay it flat in an open area, or use strips as trail markers. In a barter economy, clean, water-resistant material becomes a hot commodity. People will trade for it when they realize how effective it is and how few thought to pack one. And let's talk about weight. It's practically nothing. Folded up, it takes less space than a t-shirt and weighs even less. You can easily carry 2 or 3 in your go bag without sacrificing room for other essentials. So the next time you're in the party aisle, grab a plastic tablecloth. It's not flashy, but when the world gets messy, wet, and unpredictable, this simple sheet of plastic might just save your life. 2. Mini bungee cord set. Small but mighty. When things break, fall apart, or need to be secured quickly, bungee cords are the unsung heroes of survival. And while most people focus on the big, heavy-duty ones, it's the mini bungee cords from the dollar store that truly shine when the stakes are high. Here's the thing. Mini bungees don't look tactical. They're not flashy, and they're not the kind of gear you show off in your bug-out bag. But when the collapse hits, these small, stretchy cords will prove their worth in ways you never imagined. Let's start with the basics. Mini bungees are compact, lightweight, and come in packs of 4, 6, or even 10. Despite their size, they pack a surprising amount of stretch strength. Need to secure a tarp, lash gear to your pack, hang food out of reach of critters? These little cords get the job done fast and efficiently. They're also incredibly versatile. Use them to reinforce the corners of a shelter when you run out of rope. Wrap one around a loose tent pole to keep it in place. Lost your belt? Instant waistband holder. Strap a flashlight to a stick for a makeshift torch. Create a sling for carrying firewood. The possibilities are endless. One of their biggest advantages is speed. In wet, cold, or low-light conditions, fumbling with knots and rope can be a nightmare. Mini bungees, with their quick hook-and-release design, make setting up and breaking down shelters a breeze. Need to air-dry clothes? Snap up a clothesline between 2 trees. Need to secure gear in your car, under your bed, or on your bike? These cords bring order to chaos. And let's not forget their value in a barter economy. When cordage and adhesives are in short supply, a clean pack of mini bungees becomes barter. They're reusable, compact, and highly practical. Perfect for trading without depleting your main stash. Pro tip, wrap a few around the handles or straps of your bug-out bag. Not only are they instantly accessible, but they can also serve as last-minute gear clamps if something breaks while you're on the move. For under $1 a piece, mini bungee cords offer more real-world survival power than most overpriced gadgets. While others are busy packing machetes and folding shovels, you'll be quietly securing your shelter, gear, and sanity with these small but mighty tools. 3. Foam plates and cups. The survival hygiene. Most people see foam plates and cups as disposable party supplies, cheap, flimsy, and single-use. But in a survival scenario, these same items become invaluable assets for hygiene, insulation, and efficiency. Here's why they matter. In a crisis, running water, soap, and cleaning supplies might be hard to come by. Reusing metal or ceramic dishes means you'll need a way to clean and sanitize them, which can waste precious water and fuel. Foam plates and cups eliminate that problem. Use them once, toss them, and you've got no mess, no germs, and no risk of contamination. But their utility doesn't stop at convenience. Foam is an excellent insulator. Pour hot soup or water into a foam cup, and you can hold it without burning your hands. Something thin plastic or tin can't offer. The same goes for cold drinks. Foam keeps liquids cooler for longer and prevents condensation from soaking your gear. In freezing conditions, foam plates and cups can double as makeshift insulation pads for small items, hand warmers, or even windbreaks for small flames. Need to stabilize a stove or pot on uneven ground? Stack foam plates underneath. Need a scoop for dry goods or powdered drink mix? A foam cup works perfectly. Foam also has unexpected mechanical uses. Cut into strips, it becomes lightweight padding for splints or bandages. Place it under fragile items in your pack for shock absorption. Tape a section to a pole or bottle for added grip. It's soft, compressible, and surprisingly durable for its weight. And let's not forget its value in a group setting. Foam plates and cups allow you to distribute food and drinks without the need for washing up, which is critical for maintaining hygiene in a survival situation. In a barter economy, clean, unused foam tableware becomes a high-demand item, especially for families or medics who can't afford to waste resources on cleaning. The best part, foam plates and cups cost next to nothing. For $1 or $2, you can stock up on enough to last weeks off-grid. And while others are struggling to clean their gear or deal with contaminated dishes, you'll be eating safely and efficiently. So the next time someone scoffs at foam tableware in your prepping stash, because when the world shuts down, your party trash might just be the cleanest, safest, and most practical gear around. 4. Aluminum baking tray. The lightweight survival workhorse. At first glance, an aluminum baking tray might seem like it belongs in the kitchen, not your survival kit. But when the grid goes down, this lightweight, versatile tool becomes a survivalist's secret weapon. For just $1 or $2, you're getting a multifunctional item that punches far above its weight. Let's start with the basics: cooking. Aluminum trays are heat-resistant, durable, and won't warp or release harmful chemicals when exposed to high temperatures. Whether you're roasting meat over a campfire, baking bread in a makeshift oven, or boiling water for purification, these trays can handle the job. Don't have a pot for water purification? No problem. Fill the tray with water, cover it with plastic or foil, and place it in direct sunlight to create a solar still. But cooking is just the beginning. Flip the tray over, and you've got a dry, stable platform for food prep, gear assembly, or even keeping tinder off wet ground while starting a fire. Line it with foil, and it becomes a rainwater collector or a container for melting snow. Need a heat reflector? Place a few rocks and a candle under an inverted tray, and you've got a small-scale heater to warm a space or dry wet clothes. The aluminum's reflective surface also makes it a great signaling tool. Polish it up, and you've got a makeshift mirror for catching sunlight and signaling for help. Alternatively, use it as a reflective panel to boost the efficiency of solar-powered devices. When it comes to protection, aluminum trays are surprisingly versatile. Cut them into strips to patch holes in containers, reinforce weak points in shelters, or even create makeshift armor for fragile gear. Fold the edges to create windbreaks for stoves or candles. Need a basic alarm system? Hang a tray with some string and pebbles to create a noise-making tripwire. In first aid scenarios, a curved section of the tray can act as a splint, while the sterile surface is perfect for laying out medical tools or supply. And here's the kicker: aluminum trays store flat, taking up almost no space in your pack. You can stack several without sacrificing room for other essentials. In a barter economy, the versatility of aluminum skyrockets. A single tray can be broken down into smaller pieces and traded as reflectors, food dishes, or insulation panels. For something so cheap and lightweight, aluminum trays are a survivalist's dream. While others overlook them, you'll be cooking, signaling, and surviving with a tool they left behind. 5. Old garden hose, the hidden survival multi-tool. That cracked, forgotten garden hose sitting in your shed might look like trash, but in a survival scenario, it's a gold mine of utility. Once the systems break down, this unassuming length of rubber and plastic becomes a lifeline if you know how to use it. Let's start with its most obvious function, water transfer. A garden hose is long, hollow, and waterproof, making it perfect for drawing water from ponds, streams, or storage tanks, without moving heavy containers. In gravity-fed systems, it can act as a siphon, quietly and efficiently transferring water downhill or into smaller containers. But water isn't the only thing a hose can handle. Cut into sections, it becomes improvised padding or insulation. Wrap it around tool handles to reduce impact and vibration, or line sharp-edged gear in your pack to prevent cuts and punctures. If you're building a makeshift shelter, hose segments can provide grip and shock absorption, making your structure more durable in harsh conditions. Short lengths of hose can also be converted into tie-downs or fasteners. Slide rope through the hose to create tension loops for securing tarps, tents, or even stretchers. The friction-resistant tubing prevents rope burn and extends the life of your cordage. In medical emergencies, hose segments can serve as splint braces, limb separators, or even padding for tourniquets. Need a funnel? Cut the hose at an angle, and you've got a spout for transferring liquids like fuel, water, or cooking oil without spilling. Here's where creativity comes into play. Communication. In close quarters, you can snake a hose through a wall or underground and use it as a primitive speaking tube. It's not elegant, but in the right situation, it works. And let's not forget barter value. A 10-foot hose can be cut into multiple smaller survival tools, from bushcraft sleeves to fuel transfer spouts. Offer custom-cut pieces to other preppers, and you've got a valuable trade item. Bottom line, that old garden hose isn't junk, it's a survival Swiss Army knife. Clean it, cut it, coil it, and keep it ready. When collapse hits, adaptability is everything, and this overlooked tool will prove its worth. 6. Duct tape roll core. The hidden. Everyone knows duct tape is a survival essential, but what about the cardboard roll left behind when the tape runs out? Most people toss it without a second thought, but in a true survival scenario, that empty core is a tool with surprising utility. First up, 5. The cardboard cylinder is dry, dense, and tightly rolled, making it an excellent fire starter. Tear it into strips, fluff the inner layers, and you've got tinder that ignites quickly. Drop the whole roll into a fire pit, and it burns slowly, acting like a mini log. Add a bit of wax or grease, and you've got a long-lasting heat source to help damp wood catch fire. The roll's rigid, cylindrical shape also makes it useful for structural purposes. It can act as a spacer, a splint support, or even a shock absorber for fragile gear. Slide it over small tools or rods to prevent clanking, or wedge it into tight compartments to stabilize items. Split it lengthwise, and it becomes padding for emergency footwear or gear straps. Need to organize cordage? Thread paracord, wire, or twine through the roll, and wrap it tight. You've just created a compact storage spool without spending a dime. Want to protect a small blade or sharp edge? Slide it into the core for a makeshift sheath. The roll can also serve as a funnel or cut it diagonally, and you've got a spout for transferring rice, beans, or powders without spilling. In camp, it doubles as a light diffuser. Place a candle or flashlight inside, and the cardboard softens the glow, preserving night vision and creating a more comfortable light source. In a barter economy, these cores become valuable as fire-starting materials or cord organizers. While others throw them away, you'll be trading them for food or tools. The bottom line, the duct tape roll core may look empty, but in survival, empty doesn't mean useless. It means opportunity. 7. Leftover zip ties. The silent survival MVP. Zip ties are one of those items you probably have lying around in your garage or toolbox, but in a survival scenario, they become indispensable. These little plastic strips are fast, silent, and incredibly versatile, making them one of the most underrated tools in your kit. Let's start with their strength. Zip ties are lightweight but incredibly durable. They don't need knots, they don't slip, and once locked, they stay tight until you cut them loose. This makes them perfect for securing shelter rigs, broken straps, or makeshift handles. Got a loose bag flap or busted zipper? A zip tie fixes it in seconds. In a grid-down scenario, zip ties also offer a layer of security. Use them to lock cabinet doors, secure tent zippers, or even create a basic deterrent for supply caches. In extreme cases, multiple zip ties can act as improvised restraints for someone posing a threat. Zip ties also have medical applications. They can anchor splints, secure tourniquets, or act as finger braces in a pinch. Need to organize cords or wires? Done. Want to rig up a drying line or lash branches together for a stretcher? Zip ties are faster and more reliable than rope. Their silent operation makes them ideal for stealthy tasks. No clanking, no metal scraping, just quick, quiet fastening. Use them to mark trails, hang lanterns, or even create low-profile windbreaks. In a barter economy, zip ties become a hot commodity. They're pre-cut, single-use, and incredibly convenient. A bundle of 20 can easily be traded for food, tools, or other essentials. The best part, they weigh almost nothing. Toss a handful into your pack, and you'll be ready for anything. In a world where control and repair are key to survival, zip ties are pure gold. 8 emergency candles, the light that lasts. When the power goes out, light becomes a luxury. While flashlights and batteries are great, they're not infinite. That's where emergency candles from the dollar store come in. These small, unassuming candles are one of the most reliable and cost-effective light sources you can add to your survival kit. First, let's talk about longevity. Emergency candles are designed to burn for hours, some up to 8 or 10 hours. For just $1, you can grab a pack that provides days of light. Unlike flashlights, they don't rely on batteries, which can die or corrode over time. Candles are simple, reliable, and always ready to go. But light is just the beginning. In cold weather, a single candle can provide enough heat to warm a small enclosed space, like a tent or car. Combine it with a makeshift heat reflector, like an aluminum baking tray, and you've got a mini heating system. Need to cook or boil water? A candle can act as a small, controlled flame for heating lightweight cookware. Candles are also excellent for signaling. In a dark environment, even a small flame can be seen from a distance. Place it in a window or on a reflective surface to increase visibility. And don't forget their psychological value. In a crisis, the soft, steady glow of a candle can provide comfort and a sense of normalcy. For added utility, consider melting the wax to waterproof matches, seal small containers, or even create a makeshift adhesive. The wick can also be repurposed as tinder for starting larger fires. In a barter economy, candles become a high-demand item. People will trade for light and heat, especially when batteries and fuel run out. A single pack of emergency candles could be worth its weight in gold when the grid is down. Bottom line, emergency candles are cheap, compact, and incredibly versatile. Stock up now, because when the lights go out, you'll be glad you did. 9. Steel wool. The fire-starting secret weapon. Steel wool might seem like a cleaning product, but in a survival situation, it's a game-changing tool. This dollar store staple is lightweight, compact, and incredibly versatile, making it a must-have for any prepper. Let's start with its most impressive use, fire starting. When combined with a 9-volt battery, steel wool ignites almost instantly. The fine metal fibers conduct electricity, creating sparks that can ignite tinder even in damp conditions. This makes it an invaluable tool for starting fires when traditional methods fail. But steel wool isn't just for fire. It's also a great cleaning tool for survival gear. Use it to scrub pots, pans, and grills without the need for soap or water. It's especially useful for removing rust from tools and weapons, keeping them functional in harsh conditions. Need to patch a hole in a metal container or reinforce a weak spot? Steel wool can be packed into small gaps and sealed with tape or adhesive. It's not a permanent fix, but it'll hold in a pinch. Steel wool also has defensive applications. Stuff it into small openings in your shelter to keep rodents and insects out. The fine fibers are difficult for pests to chew through, making it a simple but effective barrier. In a barter economy, steel wool's fire-starting capabilities make it a valuable trade item. Pair it with a battery, and you've got a ready-made fire kit that others will be eager to trade. Pro tip: store steel wool in a waterproof container to keep it dry and ready to use. It's lightweight, takes up almost no space, and offers a range of survival applications that go far beyond cleaning. 10. Shower curtain liner. The waterproof one. A shower curtain liner might not scream survival gear, but this dollar store item is a hidden gem for preppers. Lightweight, waterproof, and incredibly versatile. It's a multi-purpose tool that can save your life in a pinch. First and foremost, a shower curtain liner makes an excellent emergency shelter. Drape it over a rope or branch, and you've got an instant rainproof cover. It's large enough to provide decent coverage and folds down small enough to fit in any pack. Need a ground sheet? Lay it flat to create a waterproof barrier between you and the wet, cold ground. But the utility doesn't stop there. A shower curtain liner can be used to collect rainwater. Dig a shallow pit, anchor the liner inside, and let nature do the rest. You've just created a simple water collection system. In cold or windy conditions, the liner can act as an additional layer of insulation. Wrap it around your sleeping bag or clothing to trap heat and block wind. It's not breathable, but it'll keep you warm in a pinch. Need to transport supplies? Use the liner as a makeshift tarp or sling. It's strong enough to carry lightweight items like firewood, food, or gear. You can also cut it into smaller pieces for patching holes in tents, tarps, or even clothing. The liner's waterproof nature makes it ideal for creating a clean, sterile surface for food prep or medical treatment. Lay it out to keep dirt and germs away from your supplies. In a barter economy, a clean, waterproof liner becomes a valuable trade item. People will trade for it when they realize its potential for shelter, water collection, and insulation. Pro tip: look for liners with reinforced grommets. These make it easier to secure the liner with rope or bungee cords, increasing its versatility. Bottom line, a shower curtain liner is one of the most underrated survival tools you can buy for $1. It's cheap, lightweight, and packed with potential. Don't overlook